What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your favorite host, Jay Gutta, Straight Facts with Gutta, straight from the Gutta Entertainment. Listen, I got my call from Amy, and so should you. You can reach her at 717-877-4118 or bobrooford.com. Bad credit, good credit, no credit. We're not here to judge. This is a safe place. She ships to all states. Get your car from Amy. You can reach her on Instagram. I got my car from Amy. 717-877-4118. Let's get it. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Straight Facts with Gutta, Mental Health Edition, episode 4. I'm gonna get my people in here and then we're gonna get started. Yo, Brian, what's good, bro? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Thousand years. Thank you for popping up, man. Brian, thank you for popping up. Kenya, thank you for popping up. Crystal, what's going on, sweetie? All right, so welcome to Straight Facts with Gutta, Mental Health Edition, episode 4. I go by the name of Jay Gutta, straight from the Gutta Entertainment, and I have my two lovely co-hosts here, Ms. Leslie and Tanisha.
Hey, Kenya. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Natty. Hey, Foodie. Hey, Jay. And hey, Tanisha.
What's up?
Hello. Yeah. Easter Sunday was a bit rough. I had to go down. I had to go down and spend some time with the fam, and I had to rush back up here. But thank you all for being so patient and popping out.
Yes.
Yes. I'm tired today, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm here.
Yes,
It's a holiday, and we're
Yeah.
bringing good content to the table, so it's worth it. But I'm just telling y'all, I could be
Always.
prepping and sleeping. That's how I feel. Some days your body just feels like that, right?
Yes.
That's all right. That's a part of mental health. I came out here like, woof.
Yeah,
But we're here.
and one thing is while we keep it on Instagram Live starting next week, I'm actually going to be picking out a charity, whatever the topic is. Now that they gave my business account the ability to do so, to where any donation will go directly into whatever charity we pick. So that's something new that we're going to be adding on. Miss Kenya, Miss Leslie's about to tell you what we're talking about today. Ms. Leslie, go ahead, sweetie. It's on you.
Yeah, Kenya, today and everybody in our audience, we appreciate you being here on this Easter Sunday, taking the time out and giving it to us, and sharing your time with us, rather. We're going to be discussing Black and brown women dealing with mental health. And as we know, women on a whole, we've experienced a lot, from domestic violence, single parenting, going through postpartum with pregnancy, and not being due to socioeconomical reasons and inequality through disparities and just broken systems, not getting the care that we need and we deserve. So what happens at the intersection of mental health and one's experience in the Black and brown community, while experiencing tremendous cultural differences and well-being through resiliency and healing, what people through family connections, values, expressions, spirituality, music, and resilience and the community and religious networks are enriching and can be great sources of strength and support. When I speak about that, because there are things that people have to do to connect to, especially women, because we're sometimes the head of household for many different reasons. we connect to many different things like our churches and various things in our community so that we can stay above drowning, right? So that's what we do to stay balanced with our mental health. However, another part of the shared experience is facing racism, discrimination, and inequality that can significantly affect a person's mental health. Being treated or perceived as less than because of the color of the skin can be stressful and even traumatizing. Additionally, members of the Black and Brown community face structural challenges assessing the access of care and treatment. So with that being said, just a self-disclosure, I have a family member who just had a heart attack last week, and my aunt is going through a lot. He had a heart attack, and because I strongly feel because of the color of his skin, he's being treated different. So we have the disparity that's going on, and he's not getting adequate care. So my aunt, the woman who is his wife, she is emotionally distressed. She's asking for help, and people are giving her folders and papers of things to read instead of pulling her to the side and saying, "Ma'am, we understand your husband just had a heart attack, and this is how we can support you to ensure that he gets adequate care." Just yesterday, she shared with me that that they didn't want to clean him up, and this conversation was held in front of her, which should not have been held in front of her. So whatever goes on behind the scene in any organization, whether it's medical or medical or corporate, no one should suffer, right? So my aunt, being the head of her household at this current time, is going through a lot of emotional distress because she's not being provided the support she needs from the medical team. So that's where I jump in, right? So I speak to a nurse manager. I speak to, I'm waiting for the hospital administrator to jump in because this Black woman is being not even spoken to, she's being spoken at. So when she asks questions about what's going on, people are talking over her, talking at her, but not giving her answers. So it's a major thing that's going on in our society with the broken systems that we have. And not only women suffer from it, but men suffer from it as well. We're using women today because that's the topic, and this is a major load for my aunt who is experiencing this. And it doesn't have anything, and this situation doesn't have anything to do with socioeconomical disparities, because she has medical insurance, and fortunately they're considered middle class, but because of where they are, they're being treated differently. So yeah, that's where we are today. And if you're not informed and educated, a lot of times people will mishandle you. So I strongly suggest our audience, women and men alike, if you have questions, ask them. Always ask for names of people. And it's crazy, not even crazy, we're having this conversation. My cousin is texting me, and she just said that they didn't change my uncle's diaper. So what do we do?
I mean, what are some of the steps that can be taken? Because we all know that nothing happens overnight. Correct. So what are some of the steps that we can let the people know that they can take to change the narrative? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, once you can't put a Band-Aid on certain things. You have to go to the root of the problem.
Right.
So how do we get to that?
As someone said exactly what I suggested to my aunt yesterday, because she was in such distress. She was crying horribly, to a point I literally cried like 5 minutes in my ear. And those who know about time, 5 minutes is a long time to be crying, right? On the phone especially. So I suggested to her, get the names, write the letters, because she's making complaint to direct leaders on the teams for the people that's taking care of him. And I told her, write the letter. I know it's going to be a little bit more stress, but it's necessary to write these letters and ask for people to reach back out to you with communication to how the problem is going to be fixed. You're looking for a resolution. You want to work with the care team to ensure that your loved one is receiving proper and adequate care. You can ask any question that you like. What type of medicine is that? Why is he taking it? What are the side effects? Because it is imperative that we know what's going on, and we can be able to articulate and understand how our loved one is being treated.
Right.
So we gotta also look at there's strength in numbers. So we need petitions. We need the name, like going to the head of corporations as one person. It get the effect is just not there. It gets drowned out. It becomes white noise. It becomes it's just because you're having this one issue with your family member. So we need to start these petitions and start making people start paying attention more, becoming more aware. Absolutely. Information, because a lot of times, a lot of people accept being mistreated because they just don't, because they feel like there's nothing they can do, because they feel like there's no resources out there for them. So these are things that we have to, take into consideration as well.
I want to just jump on here real quick. What both of you are saying is correct, right? But we're talking about two different things on a micro level, which is more one-on-one, and then Jay just brought in on a macro level, which is a systems level. Now, you got to decipher, what do I need to do now? Her going with petitions, right? With she's not in a space to do that. She's concerned about, how can I change this right now? So I want to address that. Like, one thing that you can do right now to address that specific problem, every hospital should have a patient advocate.
Okay.
And that means that
I completely
advocate. I couldn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I completely forgot about the patient advocate.
Yes. So the patient advocate is like, and they don't promote it, right? Like they should, but at a hospital, if you feel anything, like I'm not being treated right, my needs aren't being addressed, especially in today's time, you could always request. I always say, go to the charge nurse if you're on whatever medical unit you're on. You go to the nursing stations, but the charge nurse is the one that knows what happens on that shift. If you feel like your concerns are not being addressed, you can say, listen, I have tried X amount of times, 3 times I've called and received no information about this. I need to speak with the patient advocate because I feel that this patient's not being treated fairly. And especially in the time that we live in today, with people understanding racism and prejudice, kind of like we will know they've always been there, but they're kind of, the lines have been magnified even more. People are more apt to act on that, right? They're like, oh, okay, well, why would you need a patient advocate? What is the issue? It's sad to say, but sometimes just saying those certain words could help you. Speaking with a patient advocate, of course, if you always feel like you need some legal advice, a lot of legal advice out there is for free. Okay, a lot of people don't even seek legal advice, right? Because it's like, well, I can't afford a lawyer. Well, no, a lot of people can't right off the bat, but you can definitely go for a consultation, and a lot of corporations and places will give at least 10 to 15 minutes of free counsel, right? To say, this is my
But also,
situation.
Tanisha, even before you move forward, because I mean, as many of you guys know, I do have my paralegal degree. I work with a lot of attorneys. Every single law firm, okay, has a quota for pro bono work. Okay. That people don't know. Every single one. They're mandated to take on a certain amount of cases, and they have to provide the minutes to the Legal Aid Society every year showing proof of this.
It's like in their
and
quota
people do not take advantage of it. And what I've seen a lot of law firms do is that they make up these numbers because people don't know, so they don't come out and use it.
Gotcha.
Right.
So, but please, use that information.
Well,
Right.
because it's at a point where I feel that someone legally may need to just give them a memo that we're paying attention to what's going on. And it's sad because the stigma behind all of this stuff is it's already a known fact that Black and brown communities suppress their feelings because it's a sign of weakness and they don't want to say anything. And then my aunt, her and my uncle, they're very much into the church, and she's like, oh, what we're going to do is we're going to just have the church deal with this. And I'm like, no. The church is a in between. The church can be there. However, with all the mental health distress that you're enduring right now, you need to make sure that is being addressed properly, right? But that you may have to talk to someone outside your deacon or your pastor or a senior, a spiritual leader in your church. And she said to me, I didn't know that the church was really like the middle place, the place that kind of links us together. And I said, it's nothing wrong with you staying connected with the church. However, let's make sure that you're not suffering additional traumas outside of what we already know that you're dealing with, right? The anxieties and depressions of what's going on with my uncle. So please sort out this work for yourself, because
Well, what I was saying with what I was addressing, I wanted to make two important points. What I just mentioned before. Secondly, on a systems level, a lot of times communities wait until there's crisis.
right.
We don't start the petition when a loved one is in the hospital. You start a petition when you start to see things that are unfair months ago, weeks ago, even years ago. That's when it becomes effective. So, in regards to that work is never done. It shouldn't just start up when there's crisis. Talks of racism shouldn't have just started up when George Floyd passed away, right?
Absolutely.
That's when it became hot, but it's always been there. So it's a systems level needs a systems approach. It's not going to happen in one night. Okay. All of that to say, to address the church part of that, churches are social supports. Depending on where the church stands, the size of the church, the involvement of the church. But it's not one entity that's going to help or be the answer to all. It's a bunch of those systems working together. So I would say, in regards to that, this church can be a social support for her. Absolutely. A lot of times the church comes in to make sure, how's the family doing? Do they need food? Do they need, someone to drive her to the hospital? And that's what the church really should be doing in that respect. And if the church has somebody that can talk to somebody in the hospital or kind of be there with her to help advocate, even better. Um, but it's really subjective to each person in that particular situation too. Um, but overall, I'm sorry that he's undergoing that, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you have to deal with that and when you kind of see it up close.
Right, but the thing is also, like, to Tanisha's point, like, the church is great, but we have to realize that should only be to bridge the gap.
Absolutely.
That should be the connection. That should be, like, to put it in the terms of the individuals, that a lot of the individuals that are watching, is the church can't be the plug. The church has to be the extension cord to get you from point A to point B. And a lot of people have to understand the differences between a liaison and an advocate. You know what I'm saying? And it's things that there's that area, that gray area, that people just, it gets lost in translation.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to always put things in their certain compartments. Like, okay, so this serves this purpose, this serves that purpose. And then, when you need something from that compartment, that's when you go into that compartment.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I did provide that information to her, and that's something that the additional information that I received from you team, I will definitely share with her, as far as the legal stuff, the pro bono. In the event it gets that far, hopefully it doesn't, but I will make sure I share that. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about too is women who are pregnant, who go through depression and anxiety, and how they're not seeking out the support that that they need during the times when they're pregnant and not pregnant, but after they have the baby, they suffer from postpartum depression. They're not seeking out the services that they need. So with that being said, 1 in 3 Black and brown moms, they report symptoms, but they don't get the help that they need, right? So what needs to happen is that these women that are going through these, either prenatal or after they have the baby, they need to make sure they get the proper care that they deserve after delivering the baby through postpartum depression, because they're walking around in these deep depressions and nobody knows. People think that they're acting out because that's a choice. Oftentimes, Black and brown women are not aware that they're going through depression, or this is something that happens after they give birth. So they're not seeking out proper services so that they can understand more of what's going on with them and understand better ways to take care of themselves and their new baby. So this is something that we all need to tap into, in addition to domestic violence. Women are overlooked when they say that they're going through emotional abuse. People think that or sometimes feel that abuse is always physical. Sometimes it can be emotional abuse that can contribute to a person having a downward spiral and not being able to function within their home. Women who are single parents, um, a lot of times, often they are ones who are overlooked because they're saying that I'm not able to manage these 2 children. It's like, those are your kids. Like, yeah, I'm responsible for everything here, and I'm not understanding why I'm feeling this way. So when they bring things to their primary care physician and say, I'm having these issues, a lot of times the statistics is too high that they're overlooked. They're being sent back home to continue to deal with the anxiety and depressions that they're enduring from parenting. So the community needs to be more involved with enlightening the Black and brown community that it's okay that you need extra support to care for your children.
Right. And now I think even before saying more involved, it's educated. See, people don't do better because they don't know better. If all I know is struggle, if all I know is abuse, if all I know is poverty, it becomes normal to me. The reason when it starts to pop out that, wow, this isn't normal, is when I see what healthy is. When I see, wow, that person hasn't struggled. Wow, I don't I don't have to be talked to this way. I don't have to have the lack of resources when I can go somewhere else or see it for somebody else that's different. So before even involvement, which is definitely key, it's education. We got to get and educate. Like, this is what, you be astounded that people have no idea of what healthy love is, what healthy boundaries is, what proper health care is, what racism is, what abuse is, right? If all I know is I've been told I'm a piece of crap from the moment that I'm born up until I'm 25, until somebody says, why you talk to that way? That's not who
Yeah.
you are. The light bulb goes off. Wow, that's not who I am, right? So we have to, for those that are educated, for those that are woke, that enlightened, I don't care what word you use. Whatever you want to call it, great. Put it to use. It doesn't do any great going on a live like here and then being holed up and not sharing your information with anybody. Educate people anytime that you can, whether it's on a one-on-one, whether it's with a group, and it's connecting people to resources. And it's okay to say to people, I might not know. Not everybody knows everything, right? So if they're looking for
Nobody knows
something,
everything.
no, they don't. I don't care how enlightened or woke you are. So with that being said, I don't know is a valid answer, but let's find out together. Might have to make some calls, right? You might have to look up on the web. But there is no excuse with everything that is on Google today that you can't find something somewhere or somehow to connect to what you might need. So that's
Right,
important.
but Tanisha, but that's why even if people go back to episode one and even the premise of why we even started this mental health segment is to
Yeah,
normalize mental health in the Black and Brown community. It's
absolutely
to
right.
it's to change the narrative. It's to change how we look at things from our upbringing to now,
Right.
to know if our kids are depressed,
Right.
show them a different way. Don't tell them, yeah, depress them dishes. Like, no, like that's not okay.
We talked about that. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's not okay. So now that, at least I feel good that at least that we're changing it before we get to a certain age to where we look and sound like the disgruntled aunt and uncles or the disgruntled grandparents. Like,
Exactly.
no, we're the same age as y'all. Like, the only difference was that we got our degrees, and we're doing things to change the narrative. That's the only
Mhm.
difference. We're the same age. We talk the same. We look the same. We listen to the same music. Like, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now it's like now that, because for example, right, when you was younger, so well, I mean, well, certain people were younger, and it's like the only people that were trying to change that narrative, they were already 80, 75, 80 years old. So that generational
Mhm.
curse is like you no longer listen to because you feel like they're out of touch. Like, I'm
Right.
not listening to you 80-year-old, like you just saying that because you're about to die. And that's just how kids think, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh,
what are you talking about? G, like,
80's still
get out of
young.
here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm living
You
to
know what I mean? So it's
100.
like, it's now you're looking at what you consider the OGs in our 40s teaching the YGs differently, and it's like, oh wait, so it's not uncool. Like, so they look at it differently. Like, oh, so you got the same joint as I got on. Like, so it's like that's what they connect to. So now it's like, okay, so now we changing that. So hopefully now when us bringing up our kids, and it's like, so now they see different, they act different, they move
Mhm.
different. So it's normal to give each other a hug. It's normal to cry.
yes.
All of that is normal. It's normal human behavior. It don't make you soft. It don't make you crazy. It don't make you none of that.
Mhm.
So now that we're finally normalizing that, hopefully we start seeing a change.
True.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're breaking down. I already seen somebody put generational curses. That is very important to
Yep.
what you and Tanisha have said, and we've said through the episodes that we've had already. Is imperative that we do have those conversations. And as you said, also, Tanisha, expounding on that, having that conversation and giving examples so people can understand what they're experiencing, because they may not know that they're experiencing it, right? So we're educating and enlightening our cousins, our uncles, and even maybe the younger generation, so that they know that this is not acceptable. We have to create healthy boundaries, or we need to understand that we're being verbally abused. Okay, so this is what that looks like. Oh, these are examples, so that they know
Right.
how to handle those situations and circumstances.
Absolutely. Agreed.
No, definitely agree. And as you see, we pinned down the comment, domestic violence, 1-800-942-6906. Um, and fellas, we get beat too. All right.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're getting abused, go get an advocate too. Like, it's okay. Damn it. I'm just gonna
I
put that
wasn't
out
I
there.
wasn't ready for that, but it's true.
Listen,
Jay, you've
domestic
been beat.
violence,
I'm not
domestic,
trying to be funny, but just
you gotta tell me, wink twice if you're getting beat. Not, but it's you have to. We have to normalize. We have to change that narrative. Like, we have to.
yeah.
It's okay. Like, domestic, and the thing is that people don't realize with domestic violence. To me, the mental
Oh
is
yeah.
hurts way more than the physical.
Mhm.
Like, let's just say, for whatever. I mean, let's just say I get beat, right? After I get my beating, it's like, Like, okay, little scar, that goes away, right? So now we have to look at the mental aspect of it.
Right.
The always looking behind your back, always feeling afraid, always feeling like, oh my God, I don't want to say or do the wrong thing.
Right.
They might beat me again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to start, like I said, like I'm gonna keep saying it like a broken record. We have to change the narrative.
Right.
That's the bottom
And
line.
no one really, I mean, you know, in all jokes aside,
Right,
and
like Natty just said, physical scars heal, emotional abuse lingers. Absolutely.
absolutely.
Exactly.
And
Absolutely.
domestic violence is really underreported because of the guilt and shame that goes with that. It's a process of people to come out of that too. People that
Mhm.
don't have never been in that or never worked with that population, it's easy for people on the outside, well, just leave. Like, hello, you're getting beat, you're getting hurt, leave.
Mhm.
But it's much more dangerous and complex than people even realize. And they're actually it's the most dangerous calls that the police respond to as well. Um, and I've been on both sides of responding and working with people in the situation and responding to it also. So if you are, I just want to say this, in any kind of domestic violence situation, okay, make sure that you create what I say a safety plan. What do I mean by that? It's a simple word of if you're in a situation where you don't feel safe and your safety should be number one,
Wait,
pick
Tanisha,
two to
before you
three
go on,
things.
Tanisha, before you go on, ladies, you know your spend the night bag that y'all have when you want to go out,
Yes.
and you know you're not gonna come home. Tanisha's about to give you the spend the night bag, the emotional one.
No,
Tanisha,
exactly.
let them know what spend the night bag is for you emotions getting out
Yeah.
of domestic violence.
Listen, your spend the night bag is that little thing in the back, that index card in the back of your jean pocket that you got to pull out for safety reasons or in your wallet. But on the real, listen, make sure that you're safe. If you're in a situation where you feel iffy or if you ever questioned your safety or, I'm with somebody that I don't know, when they drink, they get like this. When they get mad, they get like this. Two
Mm-hmm.
or three things, resources you can reach out to a friend, right? A good friend. Text somebody, let them know I'm in a situation I'm entering into. I don't know how I feel. Let them know where you are. Let
Wait,
them know a
Tanisha,
plan of
hold on,
escape.
Tanisha, hold on. When she says reach out to a friend, please do not reach out to a mutual friend. Reach
Exactly.
out to your friend, not a friend that might tell them. Please,
Right.
Tanisha,
Keep
continue.
yourself safe. Number two, just plan a way of escape. You know what I mean? And I think this is just not just for DV. This is in today's dating world. Let's be for real. Like, you got to know, if you're ladies, you're single and you're going out there meeting people. We live in a time of day. Listen, I text my mama everywhere I go. I sure do, because she needs to know that I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? There's a
Mhm.
way of escape. You good? I got friends all the time. You good? And I don't care if
Right.
that's a date
Like,
or if
lady,
it's just
I'm gonna
meeting
say it
someone.
like to Tanisha's point. This is a safe place, okay? If y'all on Tinder and all them other dating apps, please let people know where you are. Please.
Yes.
There's a lot of
People
predators
getting
on all
chopped
these
up meeting
apps.
people on there, and it's the truth, and it's scary. Listen, I'm going to say this. I don't care how
Mhm.
fly, how beautiful, how smart, how much money you have either. Some situations are too big for you because you don't know what you're entering into. There's psychopaths out there. Let's just be honest. There's some sick people. Listen, one of my favorite rappers, Andy Mineo, said it perfectly. Whenever you're dating or seeing someone, the first 3 months, you see the best representative of who they are, then you really see their character. So be smart, okay? Have
Mhm.
fun, but be smart. So plan a way of escape. Listen, if you're somewhere and you don't feel safe, Uber, right? A friend, I don't care, family friend, yourself, right? Maybe you got to drive
Mhm.
yourself. Hey, I gotta go, right? If you're feeling any kind of those weird gut feelings, men and women, we know our intuition talks to us. Thirdly, there's different resources in your county. There's text lines for teens when they feel like they need to speak to somebody. There's mobile mental health crisis lines. Every county should have one. There's even general lines like domestic violence, the 800 number. There's ones for if you don't feel safe, if you need somebody to talk to. Listen, if you need police assistance, have those things on deck so you can know, okay, these are two to three things I can do if I'm in a situation that I find a little bit above myself and I don't know how to get out of, you know?
Exactly. And in addition to what you're saying, some people create code words, women and men, to let the person know that they're not in a safe situation, right? So my girlfriend may be calling me and she knows that I'm on this date because I informed her I'm on this date, and I may say my code word to her. That way she knows that I'm not in a safe space at that moment in time.
So, you know
So
what's crazy about that, Leslie?
what's that?
Growing up, right, as teens, we used to do it as a joke. Kind of like if we didn't like the chick, like,
Yeah.
yo, this is the code word, like, yo, bro, get me out. But it's
Yeah.
like we really have to utilize that same thing as adults and have these things to keep each other safe. And I think it's underutilized. And hold on one second. Ms. Nadi said, always tell a friend. I told my big sis my whereabouts every day, all the time, of course. And when I don't hear from her, I'm checking in. It's like what you have to do. Mr. Williams, thank you so much for popping in. He said there are situations that are too big for all of us. Exactly. And then Nadia again said, better tell the friend before you leave. It doesn't matter if she knows the person you're with. Right. And Mr. Tanisha got kicked off. And you know what's crazy? I can't even bring people up because we got some donations in. Now that we have these donations in, it's not even letting me bring.
Wow.
So let me. Oh, wait. Got it.
Okay.
I have to bypass the. And actually, let's bring Nadia up too, because she has. Let's see if Nadia wants to come up.
Nadia, Mr. William.
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to right here, but it's like there goes. Oh wait, Tanisha's back.
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah, like now.
It just says connecting on my end.
No, but you're on though.
I can't see nothing.
You can't see us, so we can see and hear you.
Now I can see you. Here we
Okay.
go. Yes.
Okay. No, but no, I was telling Miss Leslie, you know, growing up as teens, like we used to utilize certain things in a joking manner, so to speak. Where if we would go out with a chick and we didn't like the chick, we had like a code word for our fellas to get us out of it. You know what I mean? And it's like it's crazy because we did it more as a joke and more as of, let's see if I'm feeling. But now it's like now we have to do it for our safety.
Yeah,
Heck yeah. It's no lie. It's no joke out there. It's the truth.
Yeah, I know, you know, like you, I'm like Tanisha. I tell my girlfriends, I tell my grandmother where I'm going. And as a
You have to.
I'm not what I need to tell you this for, but now I realize that this is important, right? That way she knows. So if she calls and she knows that I say that code word, that means I'm in an uncomfortable space, right?
Right.
Mr. William, and see if he wants to talk.
Hold on, Mr. Williams. I don't know what he's doing, but
Okay.
Mr. Williams. I don't think he has an updated IG. He doesn't come up for me to send him an
Get that
invite.
update. If you want to be on here, get that update.
We gotta get updated, man.
Get the update. I agree. I love this conversation. I agree with everything my brilliant co-hosts are saying. Aren't they smart? That's some smart people.
Thanks.
It's true. It's true. We need to tell people.
I don't know how I forgot about patient advocate, like for real. And the pro bono thing, I didn't know about that, Jay. That's excellent information to have because nobody publicized that information, right? So now I know.
Yeah, but the thing is that they don't publicize things because it doesn't fulfill anything for them.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't fit their narrative.
Yes.
I like what Natty said. Can I say that I teach my
Yeah.
daughter that now it's not because I want to know. I need to know. Let me just piggyback on that real quick.
God. That I don't think people realize how powerful that is. Tanisha, please read that again.
Okay. I teach my daughter that now it's not because I want to know. I need to know. I'm going to tell you guys this, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I know everyone thinks they know their child like nobody else. Even if I work with teens, God knows that. People know that. Even if your kid is the most high honorable dean's list, they carry their grandmother through the nursing home. They're still doing things you don't know, and they're still connected to people on social media you do not know. It is imperative that you have an open dialogue with young people to find out if they're going out, who they're meeting, what they're doing, and who they're talking to.
And not
Because I
wait,
can
Tanisha,
guarantee
before I
you,
forget, not
you
even
don't know
only
everything.
social media, Roblox,
Yes.
Apex, PlayStation, Xbox. They
Discord,
all
the whole
chat
Discord,
on there.
yeah.
They all talk on there. They all go on video chat. When you think they're on their Chromebook doing classwork, they're on video chat.
Yeah.
Tanisha, continue.
You have to be up on it. You really do. And you know, I've talking to adults and they're like, not my kid, not my, it's always the ones that say not their kid, that is exactly who their kid is. Okay, so I'm not,
It be
any
their kid.
parents watching this, I'm not telling you you don't know your child. You do. And I'm sure you're a great parent, but you don't know everything. Right? So you have to put that, not just educating them, it's building a foundation. Those talks never stop. You know, you don't just have a one-time talk and you think it's all good. Those are lessons that should be talked about and taught all the time.
1 second, Tanisha, before you continue, I have Mr. Williams
Yes, I see.
up here. Mr. Williams,
All
sir,
right, what's
please add your wisdom, sir.
My man Gutta, what's good? What's good to the somewhat distinguished panel?
Somewhat
He's
distinguished.
talking about
You
me,
are
guys.
distinguished.
That's
Mr.
somewhat
Williams, come
distinguished
correct
panel.
now. We are.
Listen, I stand by that somewhat distinguished panel. But all jokes aside, no, I think that, and thank you, Gutta, for grabbing me, because, I mean, I was content sitting here doing laundry. But
we need your wisdom too, sir.
That notwithstanding, I think that the young lady, who I'm not familiar with, made an excellent point, is that you have to check with your kids. And the very bruising perspective is that as much as folks like to think they know their children, at a certain point, you no longer know your children. At a certain point, you know of your children, to where learning is a constant process, even for the people you know. Now, while I can sit here and say that I don't have children, I can also sit here and tell you that I'm somebody's child. And I can tell you that they haven't always known me because I haven't always known myself. So because people fail to acknowledge that they don't always know themselves, they omit the fact that there comes a point where you don't know your children. Right? So it's imperative that, you know, at a certain age, you continue to be a pest to your children, but you become a pest from a different perspective. And I say this all the time. Children growing up today do not have the same luxuries or failure that we had. All right? Kids today are walking the high wire of life with no net. So by living in a society where we could have made mistakes and bounced back from them,
right back.
The mistakes, the pitfalls that are there today will obliterate you.
Well, they're not on social media. Our mistakes weren't on social media. Theirs is.
Social media, in the street, sometimes in the same household that you're in. I mean, you can't expect your children to have completely functional behavior when you've exposed your children to proportionately dysfunctional behavior. I don't know what makes people think that their kids are omit. Ladies, if your man beats you, is always drunk, brings other chicks to the crib, has no reservation in any of his behavior, stop looking at your kids like you expect better from them. That's not going to happen. Not in the beginning. What you plant is what you reap. You put cabbage seeds in the ground. I don't know what makes you think you're going to grow strawberries. You're not. You're going to get cabbage, string beans, greens, whatever the case may be.
First of all, Mr. Williams, you don't know what I mix my seeds with, okay?
Listen, seeds
so stop
give
telling
you a
the
headache.
people what.
I was about to go into the Shirley Caesar. Bananas.
Seeds will give you a headache.
Making me hungry.
That's
I was
another
like, wait, I haven't even eaten Easter dinner. I'm Latina. You know, we don't eat till like 10 p.m.
That's true. But I mean, I think that we omit some factors that when we end up in circumstances, because we omitted certain factors along the way, excuse me, our equations come out dysfunctional. Right? If you pay no attention to warning signs, what do you expect? Man, if I'm sitting here doing laundry and I smell smoke and I don't get up to go and check to see if the dryer is clogged, if the washing machine's not plugged in appropriately, when my house burns to the ground, whose fault is it? It's mine. I can't go blaming Maytag. I can't blame Phillips. I can't blame Home Depot for selling me a dryer. It's my fault. But that's fine for me. When we start dealing with kids, we have to take it to the level. That's all I had to say.
Well, thank you.
No, that makes perfect sense, and that's the thing that it gets. I don't know if it gets missed in translation, so to speak, because we always feel like the young lady Chira said she had to block the chat and her kids Roblox. But unfortunately, there's so many different avenues for these kids to communicate and navigate and do things that, to Mr. Williams' point, we can never stay ahead of the curve. We can try our best.
There's a new app coming out literally every day.
Every day.
Every day.
That's true.
And there's ones that they don't tell you all about. Let me tell you, it is astronomical, the apps that are out there, the ways that they communicate, the secret ways they can communicate, and they're new every day.
But even Instagram, Instagram, right? I went into DM the other day, and I scrolled up a little too far by mistake, right? And when I scrolled up too far, now you're able to vanish the message.
Everything.
Yes.
So now we can send DMs in hiding. Like, so what do you think the kids are utilizing this for? So now it's like, okay, now you go through your kids' DMs and there's nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically hiding the information from their parent.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And that goes for relationships. That goes for bullying. I've intervened I've become the FBI of, even when they want to fight each other, it's all in there. But they're come hip to the game that I can't have anything written. I'm going to get in trouble. So it goes all in the vanishing. That's what Snapchat was so popular for. You could send videos and messages, right? Why do you think most of the teens were on there? Because it vanishes within 24 hours. There's no track record.
Right.
Even
and when somebody take a screenshot, it will tell you so-and-so took a screenshot.
It. Exactly.
It's wild. It's really wild out there. And I want to thank you all for this great conversation today. Again, the number for the domestic violence is 1-800-942-6906. Mr. Williams, thank you so much for coming up. You're always appreciated. Your input is always welcomed and warranted. This was Str8Facts wit Gutta, Mental Health Edition, episode 4. Ms. Leslie, you want to sign out, and then we go to Ms. Tanisha?
Yes, I'm Leslie. I'm a social worker and a life coach. And thank you so much for tuning in for our episode talking about mental health in women and also, children, everybody involved. We're all connected, whether we're women, men, or children. We're the human race. So hopefully all the information that we share with you guys is something that you can benefit from, whether it's today, tomorrow, and you can share it with others. We appreciate your time with tuning in with us. Thank you.
And next Sunday, we will be back at our regular time, which is from 5 to 6. I know everyone's going to be watching the Versus, Earth, Wind, and Fire versus the Isley Brothers, hosted by Steve Harvey, music by DJ D Nice. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to see a lot of you guys on there. And and it's also Easter Sunday. So it's kind of like, we wanted to do it a little earlier. Tanisha, sweetie, let the people know where they can reach you.
Look, I got a mic.
Oh,
well, we want to thank you, Mr. Williams, on behalf of the somewhat distinguished panel for joining us. I like what you said. I like your feedback. It's always important. We thank the audience that's here for you guys tuning in. Some of you have been really loyal to us, so thank you for joining us. So I am a LCSW, which is a licensed clinical social worker, psychotherapist, and also a resiliency and self-development coach. It's an honor. It really is a privilege to come on here every Sunday and bring you valuable content. So if you want to connect with me personally, corporately through here, listen, message me in my DMs. I won't put it on Vanish unless you're annoying. Just joking. Or you can contact me on Facebook. Everything is Tanisha Castellanos. So I look forward to connecting with some of you on a more personal level. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your feedback. Please click like and share this video. Tell people about us. We're taking time out of our schedule, picking our brain, wanting to hear from you guys so that we can help you and hopefully help somebody else. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. We'll see you all next week. I'll see most of you at the Versus. But the rest of y'all,
That's right.
I'll see y'all next week.
I'm
Enjoy
gonna
the
have
rest
my
of your
quinceañera.
Easters. Stay blessed.
All right, have a
Bye,
great
guys. Have a good Sunday.
You too.
day.
Bye-bye.